have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Jason Bermas. This is Reality Rants, and I am just back from Vegas speaking on the Reawaken America tour. And this was a fun one, guys. I had a really good time. I got a lot of work done. It was very hot, extremely hot. We're going to play my entire presentation, which I think went a little over 15 minutes. The whole clip is 18 and change, but there's the introduction, the outroduction, just kind of part of the show with Clay Clark. And by the way, Clay makes a joke about my show being very, very long hours and very, very little pay. I just want to say this, guys. I didn't tell him that. That's Clay being Clay. Obviously, I do want to say thank you to everybody that does support the broadcasts, because without you guys, I couldn't do this. Bottom line is, I don't get paid to do these things. I do them out of pocket because, this is an event where, check it out. I mean, literally, you can't see it on the bottom, but 5,000 tickets were sold. And look, it's tough to get 5,000 harnesses in seats at the time, but I mean, you're speaking to 2,000-3,000 people, man. It's pretty awesome. And especially because a lot of these guys are mainline conservatives, and I am not a mainline conservative. I don't even consider myself a conservative. I know so many people are like, well, you're on Red Voice Media and you're on this network and you talk about these things. Heck, Jason, you've got Vivek, I want to get it right, Vivek Ramaswamy on the thumbnail. Oh, and we're going to go deep on him. But here's the thing. I totally and completely understand my audience's concerns. One of the reasons I decided to focus in on him after doing the Great the Great Awakening versus the Great Reset, aka the Reawaken America tour this weekend, is because I don't think people who are new to this or maybe super old to this, in other words, you've been doing this stuff longer than Jason Bermas. You're older than me. You were reading things like None Dare Call It a Conspiracy way back in the day. You knew about Yuri Bezmenov, and you knew about G. Edward Griffin. You knew about all these things, right? And I get that. And you've just seen disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, etc. Or you're brand new, and either you think everything's a show and there's like a controlling class behind the scenes and there's nothing that's real and there's no elections that are real. I don't believe that, especially kind of being on the inside the last year and a half with some of the big political players and hearing them talk behind the scenes, right? I truly think there are battles within parties, organizations, politics in general. Now, Are most of these guys total and complete establishment puppets? Yes. Am I putting all my money on Ramaswamy? No, not even. I'm not putting any money on Ramaswamy. I think that my audience is getting it twisted, right? In fact, as an example, and one of the reasons why we're going to focus on Ramaswamy. Number one, he's saying a lot of the right things. He devastates on CNN yet again. We have the full 10-minute clip. I might play the 2-minute clip first and then maybe go back to that in the second hour because I've got other clips that I really want to do with Jim Acosta and Chuck Todd. He's going into the belly of the beast and he's slaying the dragons. Just saying. And I get it. One has to question, they tried to do this with Trump, right? CNN, MSNBC, they would focus on him. CNN just has Trump on the town hall to try to decimate him. What does it do every time? Every time anybody's competent, they rock the media. And Vivek is younger. I think he speaks more eloquently than Trump. He has so much less baggage and notoriety than Trump. So I think that's one of the big reasons he's on the rise, because he's saying more truth than anybody else. He's the RFK Jr. candidate on the other side, and I get it. RFK Jr.'s got his problems. They all do. Okay? Sorry, guys. I didn't expect to be raspy and maybe losing my voice a little bit here, especially because I got to use my voice as that's what I do for a living. But I guess I was just around a bunch of people, did a bunch of interviews. In fact, if you're a premium member, once again, thank you. Instead of one interview, you're going to get multiple. I know the weekend is coming past. They just put up one of my edits. I mean, I got off the plane yesterday. I downloaded the footage that I shot. I took 3 of the interviews. Lots of technical issues. Very hot. And then, quite frankly, on Saturday, the second day, I left at like 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock, because it was so hot. They ran out of diesel fuel. I don't know if they fixed that. The large tent felt great. So the event felt great. The media, and then the other side is the speaker room. Speaker room was always AC'd up, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it stopped. I was like, what's going on here? The media room got so hot on day one. Cameras were shutting off, including mine. The mics were shutting off. Equipment was overheating. They tried to improve that. The sound gets a little worse. Whatever. Still haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes of why we're doing the Ramaswamy deal today. So I'm sitting there, and I'm about to go up to speak. I get moved up an hour early morning. I think I spoke at like 9:15ish, something like that. Not 9ish, 9:15ish. I was on there at 10ish. I was supposed to be on at 10ish, which is fine with me because honestly, I like getting it out of the way, and there's usually a really good morning crowd. As I'm going up, the first question out of Clay's mouth to me, and he's speaking with General Flynn, is, what do you know about this Vivek guy? Okay. Now, look, there's no doubt that Clay Clark and General Flynn are huge Trump supporters. This, I make no mistake about it. I'm not an idiot. The Reawaken America tour is very much a Trump, has been a Trump rally tour for quite some time. And this was number 20. There's at least 2 more scheduled after this. And I think they're going to keep going through the election, because that's what this is. This is to raise support for the Trump presidency. No doubt about it. Mixed in with guys like me and others that are bringing up other very important issues. Trump's name didn't come out of my mouth during during my speech, because that's not what it's about at all. Not even a little bit. But again, we're going to save that for the second hour. We're going to play the whole thing. there are certain issues with the boom and the covering your face up stuff that we're also going to save for the second hour, because again, I think things are about to get white hot on YouTube once more. And recently, more videos of mine have been taken down. They haven't given me a strike for them, but look, we're trying to bring people in on the cat videos, and I'll even bring up the cat videos and stuff later on. So, first thing out of Clay's mouth to me, what do you know about this Vivek guy? Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. My audience has been extremely critical when I've given this guy any praise, and they have brought things up about Vivek, or as some of you call him, Vivek the Snake Ramaswamy. And so, look, I looked at Clay, and I said, well, I know he comes from big pharma money, and basically, I believe it's a pharma / gene editing company that he made his money in. And this is all thanks to my audience. And I want my audience to we should be skeptical of every single political candidate and every single billionaire. Every time. Every time. But at the same time, when they do and say things that are correct, you have to go, that's correct. Do you feel me? Do you understand? So I brought that up. I said, I know that he's got some Thiel money behind him, little Thiel. It's Peter Thiel, by the way. I can't help it. The H is in there. And Peter Thiel, not somebody I trust too much. Lots of problems. He's got Palantir problems. He's got Bilderberg problems. He's got Facebook problems. Lots of problems. What do we got here? We got anybody? Nope, that's just a little ring-a-ling-ding. By the way, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I do want to remind everybody that the second hour is free over at rvmrumble.com. We leave YouTube. The tech issues, guys, still here. But we're gonna try to pump through this show. No tech issues. Lots of video stuff with Ramaswamy. We probably will start with the Ramaswamy. Like I said, we're going to do he destroys on CNN for like 2 minutes because it's the climate change hoax agenda. Just nails it. Everything he says there is top of the morning to you. But meanwhile, I got to respect people like Sam Husseini, who we had on this broadcast. And by the way, if you're not catching the third hour of Jason Bermas, let's say that you're not a premium subscriber. You want to taste a premium for free, right? That's what the third hour of this show is. They've been playing great interviews I've done with people like Husseini, a real journalist. I saw him on Twitter, and someone says, Vivek is a plant, and Husseini says, they're all plants. I get it. They're certainly all working within some establishment bounds, right? I believe that to be true. I think that is the case. That's undeniable. Let's not fool ourselves. Let's not play the Johnny Nonsense cards. That's just the way it is. And I'm not accepting of that. In fact, I don't see it out of the realm of possibility. I end up being able to interview this guy. And one of the questions I'm going to ask him is, shouldn't I always have a healthy skepticism, okay, for people like yourself, for people in political power, or that have what? Billions of dollars. And shouldn't I always hold you accountable when I don't think you've done what you said you were going to do, or have done something that I am in disagreement with? I think he'd be hard-pressed to answer me any other way than yes. That's all I'm saying. So, I saw the concern on the other side. I talked for a couple minutes with General Flynn about it. I clearly thought he won the debate hands down. I mean, telling Nikki Haley she's going to look good on the board of Raytheon and Boeing. It's good stuff. I mean, that's powerful stuff. And I could see some concern in Flynn and Clark's face, and he's like, I want you to send anything you got him. I want my audience to send me, DM me anything. Okay? Anything on the guy. And yeah, I know he pushed the hate and lies shots too. I get it. I'm here. I'm listening. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back. We're going to play some Vivek. After this, it is Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
When I invented My Pillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition My Pillow. The Giza Elegance My Pillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary My Pillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size My Pillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at My Pillow,
transportation system damages, poor air quality, deteriorating human health, flooded coastal properties, and it goes on and on and on. So my question for you is about the remedy. If you don't want to cut fossil fuels, which you just said, you don't want to cut carbon emissions or promote clean energy, what would your policies be to slow things like droughts, like flooding, and other damage to our planet?
I think we should focus on adaptation and mastery of any change in the climate through technological advances powered by fossil fuels and other forms of energy. I have no opposition to nuclear energy.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I mean, like, first of all, this woman's never been exceptional. She's never been a great journalist. She's there to try to tear this guy down. And but at the same time, he just nails her on every single one of her nonsense points. And she acts confused and like he's a crazy person and she doesn't understand. Ramaswamy nailing it here.
Dan, I do think it's a bit of a mystery. What does that mean is look at the quality of our buildings. Look at the quality of temperature controls. This is actually what has allowed human beings to die less of climate-related disasters today than before. And the reason I call the climate change agenda a hoax, Dana, is that it actually has nothing to do with the climate. This has to do with global equity. And the reason why is the same people who are opposed to carbon emissions are also among those who are most opposed to nuclear energy, the greatest form of carbon-free energy production known to mankind. This doesn't make sense unless you actually call this out for what it is.
Is that one of your remedies?
Absolutely. Oh,
okay,
I'm unapologetically pro-nuclear energy. In fact, I've laid out a plan.
Okay. Oh, you're saying a technology that we've actually used for, 50 plus years in this country that has been refined but demonized, right? And extremely efficient. Nuclear is extremely efficient. Look at her eye. Oh, I don't understand. Oh, tell me more, Vivek.
To get government regulation out of the way for nuclear energy.
Can I just quickly go back? So you're saying like build taller buildings and have better air conditioning and heating systems? That's your remedy for climate change?
That's your remedy. Like, losers all at CNN. Losers all. That's, look at this. It's Loserville. It's like they want you to look at this woman like you're a third grader through a child's eyes, and she's your teacher. And she's shaming Vivek here for daring to suggest using a more efficient energy plus fossil fuels and not eliminate the other types of energy. No. But solution to climate change. Again, it used to be global warming. They had to change the vernacular. It's pathetic. And we'll probably end up playing the full clip and coming back to this in the second hour. But this really has to be emphasized, what a joke the media is and how well Ramaswamy's handling it. I'm in agreement with him on the energy policy. Just saying. In fact, Donnie T would do well to pick up steam on the nuclear issue. And I get it, energy independent under his administration. Totally understand that. We still do need to advance. Okay?
The climate crisis?
Well, there
is no climate crisis. I do wish that he had just stopped it right there and then said, stop. This climate crisis thing is a total lie. That's not real.
There's a fuller totality of the way we use fossil fuels to live more advanced lives that protect us from all risks, not just climate-related risks, but all risks to humanity. Right now, most people who are dying actually of lack of access to energy at all, not because of the effects of climate change.
Yeah, I don't care about those people dying. We have an agenda here. Yeah. They try to treat you like you're a child. The media, the politicians, the business class, they have a utter disdain for you. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at these people. By the way, the headliner on this, let me read it word for word. Ramaswamy defends comments about white supremacy and the KKK. That's the headliner on this 10-minute interview that we're watching a couple minutes of. That's how intellectually dishonest these people are.
The models that you described are, I think, badly fabricated. And if you want a good piece of evidence for this, remember in the 1970s, that's not that long ago, in the 1970s, the same expert class was warning of a global ice age if we didn't stop using fossil fuels. That same expert class is now warning of global... You're bringing up inconvenient facts. Actually, I do remember that because... I don't, but no, warming. So I think it is a fatal conceit of false hubris. And the reality is we should focus on human flourishing, not carbon emissions. That's what we should measure.
Boom, Ramaswamy. You got to give them some Swami for that. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. And we've seen him on Chuck Todd before on the transgender issue. Same issue, really. In fact, I talk about that in my speech. We're going to play that in the second hour. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. For all you new people coming in, thank you. Especially if you did see my speech, said, who the hell is this guy? And by the way, again, a lot of Trump supporters, we're not Team Vivek here. I'm just pointing out that what he just did and what he just said was spot on. It was surgical. It was to the point. And it made that woman look foolish, whether she understands that or not. And she might be so damn tone deaf that she doesn't. She might be one of the true believers, man. I don't know. I don't know what's in that woman's heart, but I can tell you this. There is an agenda. And it's even harder to paint Ramaswamy as some kind of white supremacist. Okay? But that's what, obviously from the headline there, that's what they want to focus on. Okay? So let's see. And here's the other one. I haven't watched this whole thing with Ramaswamy, but let me tell you the MSNBC headline on this one. Vivek Ramaswamy, I stand by calling Trump a sore loser in 2020. Now, I don't know if that's the case. That may be something he's failed on. And by the way, he's a human being, going to fail on some things. There should be moments of criticism for anybody, myself included. Like, I'm not sitting up here telling you I have all the answers. I'm putting it out there for everybody. I'm putting out my research. I'm agreeing with people that I probably disagree with on a lot of other stances. Okay, and look, when I'm at something like the Reawaken America tour, I know that I'm surrounded by people that absolutely 100% have different belief systems than I do. And I know that the vast majority of these people are actually well-meaning, good people that do want to do better for their country. Okay? And by the way, there's going to be a second premium up today with a multitude of interviews, just like yesterday. And I hope you watch that and see that. Like, Joe Hoft and I don't agree on everything. Okay? But we can sit there for a half an hour and have a great conversation. And I think that the Gateway Pundit has done a lot of good work. With that Joe Hoft interview, I met a guy named Paul Davis. And he's a lawyer out of Texas who was at January 6th and essentially lost his job because because of it. Never did anything violent, didn't go into the Capitol, committed no crime, destroyed no property, nothing. And now he is helping represent those who have challenged the authoritarian mandates of COVID 1984 that it appears may be coming back. Or they are going to attempt to have them come back. I talked to him and two women. They had absolutely no idea about things like signature reduction, NASA. And at the same time, I think that they had somewhat distorted views of some of the technology. For instance, I'm going to be honest. There is a very prevailing view, and these people really believe it, guys, of those that fall down the rabbit hole maybe a little too quickly, and over a time period of the last of really the Trump administration. And I had a great conversation about this with one of the most impressive young men ever, Nathaniel Pavlovsky, who is the son of the Canadian pastor who stood up to the COVID 1984 nightmare in Canada unlike anybody else. He didn't shut down his church. He never bent the knee. He was very vocal about it. And eventually they arrested him for giving a sermon at the trucker rally. They want to put his ass in prison. Now, his son recently spoke at the EU. We might have to get that for the second hour, too. The kid's so damn impressive. I call him a kid because I'm 21 years older than him. He's 23. And I probably, out of everybody I got to meet in person over the weekend, was the most impressed with him. Okay? And he goes, he's looking at me, and we had a lot to talk about, but he goes, I feel bad because it's these type of people that do fall into the idea of everybody's in a mask or the clones and all this other stuff. And, I have to explain to people when they bring up this idea that any of these people are cloned, I stop them. I go, that's not how it works. I go, I've looked at all the technology. I honestly do believe these guys do overplay their card. In other words, they want us to believe that you can upload your consciousness. They want us to believe that you could do a full human clone of somebody and then just upload their like the 6-day style. That's not real. You can't just gestate a full human body like that, especially something that would be functional and that you could just upload its that's not a reality. And there are more people that believe that than I'd like to think. And otherwise, pretty sane folk, and well-meaning folks. So you want to bring people down from that. You don't want people to discredit themselves out of the gates because they're when you speak about Gates, they know more about Gates than the average person. Right? They are trying to do the right thing. When I'm sitting there and I'm doing my presentation, I think I got maybe 2-3 minutes in. And this is a very religious crowd, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Very revival type crowd. And people see where humanity already is on the blockchain and the biometrics and the Internet of Bodies. They're raising their hands up and they're praying to God. And it's a lot of folks. I'm just saying that. And, I wish I had thought of it that to end it this way. And I hope to, continue to do these. I drop a bit of cheese on these guys. They're not cheap, but again, couldn't do it without you. But the bottom line is that these people, in my opinion, are the predator class. And we are their prey. So unfortunately, folks, you're going to have to do more than pray today. You're going to have a plan of action to stop these people. But, I did wrap it up pretty well, talking about how, these people are very well funded. They're motivated. They have a lot of resources, and they're not playing around. That I do believe. Okay? So we're about to go to break. When we come back, we're going to do Vivek and Chuck Todd And we're going to go beyond that in the second hour. RVMRumble.com is where you can see that second hour for free. Thumbs it up, like, okay, subscribe, share, let people know about the show. And we will be right back after this word from our sponsor.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. Act swiftly. 833-287-2465.
We are back. It is Reality Rants. All right, let's do it. Let's Ramaswamy and let's do the Chuck Todd deal.
And joining me now is the Republican presidential candidate that was at the center of the debate, Vivek Ramaswamy. Mr. Ramaswamy, welcome back to Meet the Press.
It's good to talk to you, Chad.
Let me start with the tragedy that took place in Jacksonville. This is what Sheriff Waters, how he described the incident last night.
This shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people.
So for those that don't know, actually DeSantis got booed for this because he showed up to speak about it. But this crazy, terrible person, I believe, went into a dollar store and killed 3 black people for no reason. I wonder if he was on meds. I would imagine he was on meds. Are we talking about that? Okay. Covered in Nazi swastikas. Shot dead 3 people. Okay. And someone says that DeSantis' policies led to this. How? Crazy is going to be crazy. And you notice that that guy out in Pittsburgh, we mentioned it, that guy was a black guy. Did you hear all that in the news? Did Chuck Todd play that? Nope. Just fired like sovereign. And they wanted, believe me, they'd like to play that up with the sovereign citizen angle. Right? But now everything's got to be racially motivated. And obviously with the swastika stuff, this person was a racist. But I can't emphasize this enough. The idea that free will is gone and that speech is making people racist, right? And that's their whole thing. People go, this is a hate crime. Listen, you shoot anybody randomly and kill them. I don't care what your belief is that you do. You go to jail for the rest of your life. That's if you survive. Obviously, lethal force may be necessary to take you out. Give me a break here. So right away, Chuck Todd, here we go. Boom.
He wanted to, I don't know that the targets were specific, but I know that any member of that race at that time was in danger.
Both the FBI and DHS in the last 2 years have said that racially motivated violent extremism is on the rise. This is clearly part of that. What would a President Ramaswamy want the Justice Department to do about this racially motivated violence that we're seeing on the rise?
I think that every criminal deserves to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, especially when they're carrying out premeditated crimes like this one. This is a heinous crime. My heart goes out to the families who were affected by this. It is tragic, and this should not be happening in the United States of America. I think the fact of the matter is, Chuck, it is really just a symptom of a deeper, new form of national division that we have created. And I think one of my top jobs as the next U.S. president is really to lead with a national tone of character that reminds us of how we are all united across our diverse attributes. I think part of the problem is we have obsessed so much over racial and other genetic differences that we have forgotten all of the ways we're really the same as a country. And I do think we need a leader and in the White House developing that national character for this country again. We also do have a mental health epidemic.
Glad he's bringing up the mental health because, I felt like the beginning of that very much a political answer, but a smart political answer, right? And, Ramaswamy, clearly not a white guy. They're going to have trouble with the white nationalist or white supremacist or plays to the KKK line of thinking, but they'd like that. Believe me, they'd rather push a DeSantis. But DeSantis, he ain't polling, okay? People aren't into it. They realize that this is the front runner against Trump in the Republican Party.
Across this country, Chuck, that really is reflective of a hunger for purpose and meaning. We need to fill that void, address the mental health epidemic, but this is a tragedy and deserves to be called out as heinous. That's exactly what it was.
And you should have asked, was this person on any type of SSRI drugs? That's question one when this happens. Question numero uno. What is this person's history of being medicated and via mental health? And I wish this guy would have said it stronger.
Why do you think there are more race-based violent crimes on the right than on the left?
Is that even true? Is that even true? I don't know that it's true. I know the narrative out there is that there is no such thing as quote-unquote reverse racism, which is just there's no such thing as reverse racism because it's just racism. No matter what the color, first of all, how many people out there are a pure blood of any race or ethnicity or creed at this point, especially if you're in the United States and you're second, third, fourth generation here? It's pretty slim to none. Slim to none. Okay? So the idea of a racial national identity or these clashes, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous premise. But they try to divide. And they try to divide heavily.
Why is this a lot more pervasive on the right?
Well, the fact of the matter is, I think that there's a lot more violence that's also pervasive in parts of the country that supposedly are left-wing voter bases. So I don't think this is a left versus right issue, and I don't think we should try to politicize this through partisan goggles either, Chuck, especially in the wake of a tragedy like this one. The fact is there are more black men dying on the south side of Chicago.
Do you ignore the elements that allowed this manifesto to spread online? And
the manifesto? Do you ignore the manifesto? What, like the manifesto that we can't see of the other probably heavily medicated shooter who took out a bunch of kids that identified as non-binary and knew they were going on a suicide mission and decided to act out homicidally? We have the text messages, but not their manifesto. And who cares about their manifesto, quite frankly? Like again, I want to know what meds they're on. I want to know what meds they're on.
That it does feel as if social media connects some of these hateful ideologies.
Well, the fact of the matter is I do think we have two standards that we're even applying if we're having a conversation about manifestos. We still have not yet even seen the manifesto of that transgender shooter in Nashville of a Christian school, and yet here we're focusing on the motive. So if we want to look at this through a politicized lens, let's look at what the political media and the political establishment is doing differentially in how they analyze different crimes and then create a new narrative around it. The fact is, what I said in the Nashville shooter case, I will say here. Any killing, any mass killing is heinous. We need to get to the root cause of the mental health epidemic, address that. We need leadership that sets the right tone in this country. But if we are going to talk about manifestos and politicization, Chuck, I think it is incomplete not to look at the absence of releasing that Nashville shooter manifesto even as of today. That's why I personally traveled to Nashville to call for it. And that, I think, is the best evidence of real politicization in terms of what the public sees and what the public doesn't. I want to apply one standard for everybody. I don't want to look at this through partisan goggles. I want to look at this through one standard of the rule of law for everybody.
And look, a lot could happen between now and election time. I've often said I don't think RFK Jr. really has a path to the nomination. I don't know what's going to happen with the Republicans. Quite frankly, you already see people moving to keep Donald Trump off the ballot. If Donald Trump is off the ballot, I think that the establishment and really even those, again, you know, within the Trump camp realize that this is the actual front runner, at least among the people, because he's saying things that nobody else is going to say up there. You're not going to get this from Mike Pence or Nikki Haley or even Garbage DeSantis. And the Ukraine thing, I mean, everybody else is despicable on, period. And quite frankly, to Trump's credit, you know, he says he's going in there like Superman. He's ending the thing. I'm not sure he's going to do it like that, but I would be hard-pressed to think that he would want to continue that conflict as well, and that he would end it as quickly as possible, because it is about the loss of life.
You believe racism is a mental health issue?
Sure. Do I believe that racism is a mental health issue? Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Chuck, do you think that mental health has anything to do with the way we think and act mentally and then physically act out our mental? Like, where's the disconnect? Of course racism is a mental health issue. If you have a disdain, a dislike, a hatred towards another person because of their skin color, yes, Chuck, you are 100% mentally ill. That's a no-brainer.
Well, I do believe that racism in many cases is manufactured in a way that creates more racism in this country. I cannot think of a greater way, Chuck, of driving racism in this country than to take something else away from someone based on the color of their skin. And so is there existing racism in the United States? Sure. Of course there is. But those last burning embers of racism, the last thing I want to do is throw kerosene on it. And yet that's exactly what I believe the modern culture is doing by creating race-based quota systems that deny people access to goods or services based on the color of their skin. The right answer to stop discrimination on the basis of race, as John Roberts said it, is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. And I am genuinely worried that we're seeing a new wave of anti-black and anti-Hispanic racism as a consequence of the so-called anti-racist movements.
Your argument
comes across. I mean, these people, 100%. And Vivek the Snake knows it. Is that what we should call him, guys? I don't want to be disrespectful to the guy until we get some really snaky stuff on him, because he's good, man. Is he talking a lot like a politician? Sure. He's running for president. And we're taking DMs and info on him. Yeah, give me the worst of the worst clips on the guy, please. And we're going to do a whole show on that. But look at Chuck Todd trying to save the narrative. It comes across
as blaming those that are trying to create equality for the rise in racism.
Those that are trying to create equality for the rise in racism. Your idea of equality and equity has nothing to do with anything. Anything where what? People are judged on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Todd. Every time I hear the word Todd like that, and by the way, love you, Todd McGreevy. I'm not trying to pick on you. I always think about the George Carlin bit of Bobby and Billy and Joey, and how they kick the shit out of Todd and Tanner and Cody. It's a good one. All right, let's continue on right here with some Chuck Todd.
Well, the fact is, Chuck, I don't want to be playing a blame game. I want to be going towards a solution. And I am genuinely worried that those who earnestly espouse the view, I'm going to quote Ibram Kendi from his book directly, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth, says the right answer to past discrimination is present discrimination. The right answer to present discrimination is future discrimination. I believe the people who hold that view are earnest about it, but I think they're wrong. And I think that that's actually creating more discrimination and more division in our country.
You know, I don't know so much. I hear people complaining about those type of things, but I think that's a false out. We got to go to break. We're going to come back. Final first hour. And again, I'm waiting on it. Like I said, we're not here to just prop this guy up. I get it. Big Pharma, Teal money, promoted the hate and lie shots. Still saying more truth than anybody else. And I want the dirt. Give me the dirtiest, nittiest, grittiest stuff you got on Vivek over in the DMs. The best clips, the best articles. We'll lead the show with it tomorrow. We'll lead the show with it 100%. So let's go to the word from our sponsor, and we're coming back.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
And we are back. We're going to continue with Vivek in a moment. But again, like I said, I'm willing to see all of it. I'd like to interview him. Over on the other show, I interviewed one of the heads of his campaign, the person that challenged Dr. Oz in the primaries. I could also see somewhere where first of all, I don't think that for all you Trumpers out there, I don't think that Vivek could fit into the Trump administration in any way, shape, or form. I just don't see it, especially like as a vice president, which, you know, I don't necessarily think that he would be the worst choice. I think that he would be a better choice than Pence. I think Carrie Lake is kind of the obvious choice for Trump right now. But the reason I bring any of that up is the idea that perhaps he and RFK Jr. could run together on either a libertarian or a green ticket. I think that they could do some numbers and be real disruptors in that. Now, could they win? I don't know. I don't know, because I'm not trying to fool myself into believing that, like, all of a sudden a third party, no matter what label is behind it, is viable. Even Trump taking like the Libertarian Party thing. Could he win under the Libertarian Party? I would think with that name brand in free and fair elections, sure. If he's on the ballot and people can check him off, sure. I've heard the largest write-in campaign in history for Trump. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I also don't think that this is just a dog and pony show. I really do believe that this election matters. Like, the guy that we've dealt with in the last, like, almost 3 years can't talk. And he is such an empty vessel. That's one of the things I discussed with Hoft is, you know, and he agreed with me. I go, listen, man, that guy doesn't run anything. He makes no decisions. He's like, you're right. He doesn't do anything. No, nothing. So, again, out of everybody out there in the arena, I see every day Ramaswamy going in to the dragons, the heads of the snake, and cutting them off and eviscerating them and doing well. And again, the climate clip with the woman from CNN. That's a great clip. I don't know if I could have articulated the situation as well as Ramaswamy. Period. Especially doing so and not getting excited, which I think matters. You know, sometimes my approach isn't the best. It needs to be better, period. But here we go. Let's go back to Vivek.
And I think the right answer is actually to restore colorblind equality, colorblind meritocracy, embrace what unites us across our diversity instead of celebrating our skin-deep diverse attributes. That's how I think we reunite this country, Chuck. And it's not blaming anybody else for having a different point of view, but I do think that as a leader, it's my job to articulate exactly how we will unite this country, and that's exactly how I'm going to do it.
Let me move to the debate. And a lot of people are asking this question. If you believe Donald Trump is the greatest president of the 21st century...
100%. And I believe that too. He is. Who gave him a run? Bush? The Barack star? Come on. The Joey B? Zombie J? He is.
He's running. Why are you running against him? Why do you think his second term won't be as good as his first?
Well, look, I did say he's the best president of the 21st century. From George Bush to Barack Obama to Joe Biden to Donald Trump, I think it's not even close who was the best of those presidents.
I told you guys, I only watched a couple clips of this. I didn't hear him talk about this. He's saying the same exact thing that I would say right there. See, what? How can I not play this guy? Right? How can I not talk about this?
In my book, I judge by results. That being said, I believe I can take the America First agenda even further than Donald Trump did. I think I will be more effective in uniting this country in the process. Look at the way we're running this campaign. I'm not leaving any state behind, any city behind, no American left behind, from the south side of Chicago to Kensington to places where traditional Republicans don't go. I think I am best positioned to deliver a landslide election, a multi-ethnic.
Yeah. You see, a landslide. Now, I don't know about that either. But listen to how dismissive Chuck Todd is. Chuck Todd's like the worst, man. He's one of the people I feel like I have the most disdain for in media, especially since Stelter's been gone.
Working class majority. And I do think that a landslide is what we need in this country, not another 50.1 election. And I'm the only candidate in this race who can actually deliver that.
Look, I think Trump has delivered landslides, but we have such a corrupt system of unaccountability and zero audits that he did it too, period.
A Politico neophyte outsider became president and couldn't get a lot of the things done that he wanted to get done in Donald Trump. Why do you think somebody with less experience than Donald Trump had is somehow going to make the federal government function in a way that you're outlining?
Well, hopefully, and look at the little smirkle on Ramaswamy and the little smirkle on Todd. I think I got him here. First of all, Trump got a lot done. And he did disrupt a lot. But his biggest sins were, quote unquote, and this is something, again, go check out the premium interview. I'm sure they're going to be putting clips out all day with Joe Hoft. You know, when he talked about Pence in particular, he felt like, Trump had to bring in the base. I think that the base is now very different than what it was in 2015, 2016. It's 2023. So he doesn't have to bring in the quote-unquote base. So he doesn't need a Jeff Sessions. He doesn't need a Mike Pence. He doesn't need the McMasters and the Liddells and the Mattises and the Boltons of the world. He doesn't need Mike Pompeo. Now, does that... I'd like to hear some of the names in a proposed Ramaswamy administration. And quite frankly, I want to hear names like Rand Paul. I want to hear names like, especially when it comes to foreign policy, perhaps a Mike Lee. I don't want warmongers, okay? And I don't want establishment hacks. But let's see. We got the dueling smirkles here.
So I think there's three things I would say. The first is we have that experience to learn from. I want to build on the foundation that Trump laid. Frankly, I will invite him as an advisor and a mentor. I don't want to relearn the same lessons. I want to pick up where he left off.
Wow. Yeah, and believe me, I'm sure that people who are Trump supporters, who want to see Trump get this nomination, might have a problem with that. but only a problem with it because of the situation we're in now.
Taking on the administrative state. The second thing, Chuck, is I do think it needs to be an outsider to take on that administrative state, but I also think it needs to be an outsider who has a deep first personal understanding of the laws and constitution of this country. I think Trump was in many cases duped by his managerial advisors, for example, who said that you can't fire employees in the federal government due to civil service protections. Read the law. Turns out those civil service protections only apply to individual firings, not to mass layoffs. Mass layoffs are absolutely what I will bring to the D.C. bureaucracy. And I think the fact that I am from a different generation, Chuck, will be an asset. I'm able to reach young Americans. I'm able to reach people who haven't traditionally been brought into the
Right. I mean, he's given great answers here. And Chuck Todd seems sad and disappointed every time Ramaswamy just totally and completely dominates him. And I'm not saying it's tough to dominate Chuck Todd. And I'm not saying that Ramaswamy's telling us the truth or it would be able to take out the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Homeland Security divisions that need to go. But damn it, he's the only one even suggesting that that's what needs to be done. And he's saying he'll do it.
Of Republican politics. I don't even talk about Republicans and Democrats. And so I think I will be able to build a greater moral mandate across generations that helps unite Americans around the America First agenda rather than making it a strictly partisan affair.
So, to all those, people, and we mentioned in the very beginning, just think everything's a show and all these people suck. Why aren't you running? What way, if there's no hope at all, none, zero, zip, zilch, what have you done to protect yourself when it all goes down? I mean, I guess that's one perspective to have. But at the same time, who are the men in the arena? It's the same thing I got to say for like Kennedy. We'll play his clips when I agree with him. And certainly we'll also highlight when I don't. Period. Sounds common sense. But we're not even 10 minutes into this clip. It's 18 minutes, not even halfway through it. And Ramaswamy is easily handling, the opposition media that is promoting a great narrative which would result in the decimation and enslavement of humanity.
Let me bring up a couple questions you didn't get a chance to answer at the debate. Most of the candidates on stage Wednesday night said Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th. Do you agree?
No.
I would have done it very differently. I think that there was a historic opportunity that he missed to reunite this country in that window. What I would have said is this is a moment for a true national consensus where there's two elements of what's required for a functioning democracy in America. One is secure elections, and the second is a peaceful transfer of power. When those things come into conflict, that's an opportunity for heroism. Here's what I would have said. We need single-day voting on Election Day. We need paper ballots, and we need government-issued ID matching the voter file. And if we achieve that, then we have achieved victory, and we should not have any further complaint about election integrity.
So what would you have done?
So it didn't really answer the question, and Chuck Todd's trying to hold him down on it. He's trying to put him in the Pence spot. He's like, would you? Basically, Pence had an obligation. This is, again, something I talk about with Joe Hoft. Pence had an obligation to audit that election. Period. We should have audited the election. We have not audited these elections properly. Period. Now, Ramaswamy talked around that entire thing. 100%, guys. 100%. That's what he did. We're at the final moment of the first hour. We're going to come back to this after a word from our sponsor. We're also going to come back to YouTube briefly and let you know where you can watch that second hour uncensored. Hint, it's at rvmrumble.com. If you do want to support the broadcast, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Try it out for $1, and that's $10 a month, or lock it in and really support us for $100 for the year. And as I've stated, you're getting multiple interviews this weekend. There's going to be another one up tonight with a slew of people, including Nathaniel Pavlovsky, who I had a wonderful conversation with. But one more commercial, and we'll be back after that.
There's still everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts.
All your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
All right, folks, we are back. Remember, the second hour is over at rvmrumble.com, and I'm getting a text from my buddy Todd of the RC Reader. Vivek did not follow the advice I gave him when I met him. It's not an effing democracy, Vivek. And look, I get it. A lot of people are upset that I'm daring to play the clips of the guy that's eviscerating the media and running for president. This isn't an infomercial. I'm seeing some of the quotes, an infomercial for the guy. And I'm not putting the hopium out on the guy. I'm pointing out that he's destroying the media narrative with a lot of the information and the talking points that we've utilized for a very, very long time. So second hour, we're going to finish that up. I got other clips. I want to talk about Biden. And again, it looks like Alex Jones was right again. It looks like they're going to go for it. Round 2. They're really going to hype this up. But we're also going to play my entire Vivek Ramaswamy free presentation from Vegas. And remember, the reason I did the Ramaswamy thing is because right before I did this presentation, Flynn and Clark were very interested in what I had on the guy. So if you've got anything on the guy, send it my way. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay? With that being said, YouTube, I love you, but we'll see.